Farmweek is a production of the Mississippi State University Extension Service.
Today on Farmweek, it's a feature story edition of our show. We would all like to cut down on our electric bills. You'll meet one hog producer who's turning his animals' waste into watts.
In southern gardening, many gardeners want to attract butterflies to their landscapes, but we'll have a plant today that looks like a butterfly.
Many entrepreneurs can make or grow a product. It's the marketing that's hard to do or to pay for. Find out how Mississippi Market Maker is helping small ag entrepreneurs to reach large audiences, while in turn it's helping consumers find the products they want.
One of the benefits of Market Maker is that it is so professionally done. It is extremely easy to navigate the site. They have tutorials on the site, both for businesses, and for the consumer. And as far as the businesses go, we have a login and we have a password, and we can change our ads. We can insert pictures or any information we feel, that our customers would need to know.
Good day, everyone. I'm Leighton Spann.
And I'm Artis Ford. Welcome to Farm Week.
Today it's an all-feature story edition of our show.
Leighton, Mississippi State University is helping showcase local agricultural industry with an internet marketing tool called Mississippi Market Maker. The safe, user-friendly site acts as one central source for consumers to find products, farms, and businesses. Market Maker also helps promote any small agricultural operation, from local produce to services to agritourism. Members say they've had great success since joining the site.
For local agricultural operations in Mississippi, finding fast, easy, and affordable ways to promote a business can be difficult. But Mississippi Market Maker, operated by Mississippi State University Extension Service, offers a solution. The free and easy-to-use internet site provides a one-stop shop for direct marketing. Registered users set up their own profiles, which include any information that will help showcase their products or services. Ken Hood, Mississippi State University Extension Professor of Agricultural Economics, discusses the beginning of Market Maker.
Market Maker was originally developed by the Cooperative Extension Service at the University of Illinois. There were some researchers and extension folks got together. They wanted to find a way to enhance the local direct markets for their cattle producers. They realized real quick that this was a lot more powerful and something that everybody could benefit from.
MSU Extension learned about Market Maker in 2006 and created its own site in 2007. Presently, there are about 18 Market Maker states in the U.S. Hood describes the kinds of products you can find on the site.
Any type of product that is related to agriculture, agribusinesses, processed products, fresh products, livestock, fresh fruit and vegetables, processed products also, services that are related to agriculture, transportation services, storage, cooling, just about anything in the ag industry from producer all the way to retail.
In addition to local, state, and national visibility, Hood says Market Maker opens the door to offer products worldwide.
Someone at the United Kingdom actually was searching the website and looking for sweet potatoes and found this gentleman's name and contacted him.
When conducting a search, an appealing aspect is the ability to refine the search by choosing a business category and matching it with options such as city, county, or state. Dolores Bertizzi, owner of Lauren Farms, talks about using Mississippi Market Maker to promote her freshwater prawn operation.
One of the benefits of Market Maker is that it is so professionally done. It is extremely easy to navigate the site. They have tutorials on the site, both for businesses, and for the consumer. And as far as the businesses go, we have a login and we have a password, and we can change our ads. We can insert pictures or any information we feel, that our customers would need to know.
Bertizzi says having having one central source where anyone can search for locally produced products and services makes it much easier for both consumers and businesses. In addition, she can track the number of times the site is visited.
We've been really excited that our website has been visited over 3,200 times and our products have been visited over 4,000 times. And we sell anything from the catfish fingerlings to the processed fish, the juvenile prawns, the processed prawns, and we also have an equipment and supply business.
In addition to product information, Market Maker has mapping capabilities so consumers can easily find directions to a venue. Teresa Holofield describes how her business, Pontotoc Ridge Blueberry Farm, benefits from Market Maker.
Actually, they would tell me as when they came to the farm, oh, I looked it up on the internet on Mississippi State, and they had Market Maker, and so I knew where your farm was. They were very helpful to me in getting to your place.
Another advantage of getting on the site is the assistance you receive with registering. MSU Extension is eager to help and will even build a profile for those who are less computer savvy or just too busy. Requirements for registering a profile include the name, physical address, and type of business, along with the owner's name and a working phone number. Additionally, MSU Extension is getting Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation on the Market Maker bandwagon. Samantha Webb explains how her role as MFB Federation Commodity Coordinator relates to promoting local agriculture.
I work specifically with sweet potato producers and peanut producers statewide, and I help them with different policy-related issues that affect their industries, their commodities, and also on promotional issues, educational issues, and anything that we can do just overall to help promote those industries. Farm Bureau and the Extension Service have always had such a great working relationship. We are working on behalf of one another and always glad to support each other. So when we heard about this, we were excited to jump on board.
Webb coordinates producer meetings with MSU Extension where Market Maker sessions are included. Workshops are also available throughout the year. Teresa Holofield says small farmers should strive to learn as much as possible.
To a small farmer that is going to develop and get started, should always take those classes. Any questions that you could have thought of or asked, you could have found out all your answers. It got me excited about extending my farm. Mississippi State has been extremely helpful in helping my farm to become everything it has been. And it makes a person feel very good and very supported.
With internet acting as the salesperson for so many businesses these days, it's essential to learn about new marketing tools. Mississippi State University Extension Service strives to help local businesses and small farms achieve that through Mississippi Market Maker. Ken Hood assures the site is easy to use as well as secure, and he looks forward to seeing our local agriculture industry flourish. I'm Amy Taylor reporting.
Go to our Farmweek website if you'd like to see this story again on Mississippi Market Maker. The website is farmweek.msucares.com. You can also find it on Facebook and YouTube. I have links to Mississippi State University's Extension Service so you can find out more about Market Maker and the training that they offer. We'll also have contact information for Lauren Farms and Pontotoc Ridge Blueberry Farm. We'll have their contact information on our Farm Week website. Of course, this story appeared previously on Farm Week, but the Holyfields, naturally, it's getting to be blueberry time. But, you know, this year worried about a late freeze, you know, possibly, especially where they are up in Pontotoc. But the Market Maker, it's a really good idea because it is a way for small businesses, small ag businesses to get on the internet and to get some marketing going on the internet. I mean, I admit I'm not savvy when it comes to the internet. I just do what I'm told, so to speak.
But obviously, as they said, it's working for them.
But it does seem to be working for them, and because they have the framework set up, they also say it's very hacker-proof, so you don't have to worry about that aspect, although that is something that we do see from time to time. So, but Mississippi Market Maker, and we'll have the links on our website to get you in touch, or you can go by your county extension service office and they'll get you in touch.
Well, it's time now for our trivia quiz on Farm Week. It's about wheat acreage in Mississippi. 360,000 acres of wheat were planted last fall in the state. So our question, what is the all-time record for wheat acreage in Mississippi? Is it 660,000 acres or 760,000? Or could it be 800,000 acres or even 1.1 million acres? We'll have the answer for you after today's Southern Gardening.
Many gardeners know that a plant doesn't always live up to its name. In this week's Southern Gardening segment, Extension Horticulturist Dr. Gary Bachman shows us that the blue butterfly plant really does live up to expectations.
I really enjoy the spring season. Today I'm at Pine Hills Nursery looking for new plants for Mississippi gardeners. A variety that's sure to find a place in my landscape this year is blue butterfly plant. Known botanically as Clerodendron eugedensa, blue butterfly plant has intricate flowers that actually resemble little blue butterflies in flight. The flowers are arranged in multiples on long arching branches. Individual flowers are about 1 inch in diameter with several pale blue lobes and a single darker blue-violet lobe. I really like the way the stamens and pistil arch out and upward and remind you of eyelashes. Blue butterfly plant should be planted in full sun to partial shade in the landscape and needs consistent soil moisture during the hot summer months. This plant will have an open and airy growth habit and flowers on the current season's growth. This is a good attribute since blue butterfly plant can become gangly, potentially getting upwards of 10 feet tall and 6 feet wide. So pruning at any time to keep the plant neat and tidy will not impact flowering. This plant will flower from planting to the first frost in the fall. Though blue butterfly plant is considered tropical, it is tolerant of cooler conditions and is hardy down to about 20 degrees. For most gardens in Mississippi, this plant will return from the roots like many of our other perennial plants. For possibly the best performance, grow in a large container that can be protected during freezing weather. Blue butterfly plant is sure to attract a lot of interest, and since it propagates easily from stem cuttings, you can share with all of your gardening neighbors. I'm Gary Bachman for Southern Gardening.
Gary says the blue butterfly bush will grow big if you let it, but if you shape it, it can be held in check.
It's time for the answer to our trivia quiz on Farm Week. It concerns the all-time record for planted wheat acreage in Mississippi. The answer, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, is 1.1 million acres. That was planted in 1982.
We're going to pause now for a break on Farm Week. Coming up, we'll have the calendar and one more feature story for you. You'll travel to Nebraska, where a hog farmer says the waste his pigs produce is saving him money. He's using it to make his own electricity.
Our tradition of learn by doing is creating new opportunities. My 4-H is involved with service projects in communities all across our state. We develop leaders for Mississippi's future.
My 4-H is science and technology, everything from computers and robotics to exploring our environment.
My 4-H promotes active lifestyles and encourages physical fitness, healthy foods, and nutrition.
My 4-H is Mississippi 4-H.
Before we get back to our last story, let's look at the Farm Week calendar. 2 farmers market training courses will be held on one day, that's March 20th, a workshop on general food safety and another on canning acidified foods will take place. Now the food safety training is from 8:15 in the morning to 9:45. There's no charge for this. The training for the canning acidified foods segment costs $100. It runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You do need to register as soon as possible ahead of time for both of these. That's this coming Tuesday, March 20th. The location is the Brookhaven Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce office on Whitworth Avenue. A timber tax workshop takes place Thursday, March 29th in Oxford. This is for landowners, certified accountants, consulting foresters, and loggers. It will cover everything from records to timber sales to filing timber taxes. Registration is $35 for one person, $50 per couple. This does include lunch. Class runs from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please register ahead of time. We will have the contact number on our Farm Week calendar. Go to our Farm Week website at farmweek.msucares.com for information on these and other events. Now check out this week's Farm Week Snapshot.
Our last feature story today is about a hog farmer that has a vision of the future, one where hog waste is turned into fuel. One producer out in Nebraska has found a way to generate his own electricity and enough for his neighbors. At the same time, he is reducing emissions of a key greenhouse gas. Harvest Public Media's Perry Stoner explains how the innovative operation converts waste into watts.
Danny Cluthy runs a family hog operation in rural Dodge, Nebraska. Step inside one of the barns and you'll see and hear it's like many hog operations in the state.
You know, my job is to get them little pigs fat and get them to market.
The little pigs weigh 12 pounds or so when they come to Cluthy's facility. 5 or 6 months later, he's cared for them enough they are ready to go to market, weighing 20 times more than when they arrived.
These hogs are treated better than humans. I mean, their diet is to a T for their age. Fresh water, fresh air. They sleep with a grin on their face.
With about 7,500 hogs typically on hand, a lot goes into fattening them up. That means there's a lot that comes out of them, too. It's manure, and that's where Cluthy's operation becomes unlike any other in the state. The waste of hogs and other farm animals create high levels of the greenhouse gas methane. Methane can last more than a decade in the atmosphere and is 20 times more powerful than carbon dioxide as a contributor to climate warming. But Cluthy is taking steps to make his farm an environmental game changer.
What I really call this thing is a manure processing system with the byproduct being electricity.
Hogs create an average of more than a gallon of manure each day. All told, Cluthy's hogs generate over 9,000 gallons, enough to fill a gas tanker every day of the year. Down the hill from the hog barns is a pit. An underground pipe system uses gravity so the manure flows downhill. Manure collected in a pit is common at hog operations, but what happens in this pit is not. This 14-foot deep airtight tank is called a methane digester. There are about 150 of them on farms in the United States, but Cluthy's is the only one in Nebraska.
The raw manure goes down to the digester where we've got bacteria, lots of bacteria. And what the bacteria does is actually breaks the manure down and it comes out liquid. Every day I feed about a quarter of a pit to the digester, and every day the hogs replace it. That is renewable.
The digester is heated to about 100 degrees. That's ideal for the bacteria to break down the manure and release methane gas, a process that takes about 3 weeks. The pit traps the methane in its oxygen-free environment. Cluthy then uses the methane as a fuel to run farm utilities.
The methane gas gets sucked up here to the 3306 cat engine that's running a generator. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I always say this cat engine just purrs on this methane.
The Caterpillar engine sits in its own small building. Designed to use either methane or propane as fuel, the engine produces electricity and it's put on the electrical grid, completing the manure to electricity process. Cluthy started dreaming of this facility in 2003, but wasn't producing electricity until more than 2 years later, due mostly to the permitting process. Nebraska Public Power now buys the energy from Cluthy's family energy company. But generating electricity from hog manure isn't financially what it could be. Customer generators in Nebraska, like Cluthy, can produce up to 25 kilowatts. Above that amount, they are paid what's called avoided cost from the utility. In simple terms, he's paid the utility's wholesale cost of electricity. The 25 kilowatts allowed in Nebraska is among the lowest in the nation. In the end, the break-even point for Cluthy's system is at least 15 years.
We actually make enough electricity here to take care of about 45 to 50 homes a year. I would use about 20% of the production and sell 80%. For a byproduct, we actually got a lot of electricity here. Anybody in Cumming County that turns their lights on doesn't know the difference whether it's coming from Cooper Nuclear or Olean Energy.
They're creating greenhouse gases, actually creating a very potent greenhouse gas, so you don't want that to escape. And so it's really important to capture as much of that methane as you can.
For biological systems engineers like Rick Stoll and Crystal Powers, finding ways to utilize what might otherwise be waste is a scientific process that helps make agriculture more sustainable.
In each step of the process, from growing your forages and grains for your livestock to feeding the animal to within the manure, how do we capture as much energy in each step? And anaerobic digesters fit in there because we're figuring out how to get more energy out of that manure before it's ultimately used as fertilizer.
Livestock manure is used as fertilizer for crop agriculture. Methane-free manure is too, and Cluthy says it's odorless. Livestock waste odor is found offensive by some, and it is occasionally the grounds for lawsuits. Ryan McGee is with the USDA's Agricultural Research Service. In the lab, he's examining what happens to the manure in the different stages of Cluthy's process.
So these samples are from the pit, which are essentially green, raw manure, very little treatment. Then the next step is after it's been digested through the anaerobic digester, which is a basic flow of treatment at the Cluthy site.
We're asking them to look at solids content, the organic matter, how that's breaking down. That would tell us how well the digester is performing. And then we're also very interested in what's the likelihood of gases coming off that would cause odors. And the assumption is that the digester is going to break down those and reduce the likelihood of odorous gases and other undesired gases coming off.
Livestock production can have another serious negative environmental impact: water contamination.
85% of our population in Nebraska relies on groundwater for drinking water. If waste gets into water, it's likely to cause a problem. I mean, that's the whole purpose of our livestock permitting program, is to keep livestock waste out of the waters of the state, the groundwater, the streams, the rivers, and the lakes and the reservoirs.
Marty Link is Water Quality Associate Director with the Nebraska Department of Environmental Quality. She says harm to drinking water isn't the only concern if livestock waste gets in the water.
When it runs off into a stream, it can cause the algae to get all excited, and it gets all this nutrients and it starts growing a lot. And so there's an algae bloom. The algae bloom takes up a lot of oxygen. Oxygen is all depleted then from the water, and the fish won't have the oxygen in order to breathe, and they may die. That's a worst case scenario. Accidents happen, but well-managed waste should not make it into the stream.
You know, now all of the effluent that goes down the lagoon is odorless. So really it's just kind of nice, pretty lake out there.
At Danny Cluthy's hog operation, he can still use the manure waste as fertilizer after capturing the methane to be a fuel source. He likes that the digester helps him be a good neighbor.
We've got a track record, and now we've got something that, you know, other producers can come and look at and say, wow.
It's a costly endeavor Cluthy could only make happen with grants that totaled hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's one of the barriers in front of more livestock producers wanting to do what Cluthy has, but he's not done. Another grant will provide about 1/4 of the funding to install a scrubber that will remove methane impurities and leave propane. He estimates the additional use of the manure byproduct could eliminate his annual energy costs of $30,000.
And I'm excited about the fact that we'll be able to heat our barns, dry our corn, whatever we use propane for now, we're going to be using methane. And will this solve our oil crisis? Probably not, but it's a piece of the puzzle.
For Market to Market, I'm Perry Stoner.
If you're interested in watching this story again on turning waste into watts, go to our Farm Week website, farmweek.msucares.com. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll also have links to the Market to Market website where you can see that story as well and read the script for the story. Again, it's all at farmweek.msucares.com. So on the face of it, it sounds like the best of all worlds, fertilizer and electricity, but a lot of money involved. You got to find the grants.
Trick is making it pay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've already in a Farm Week for this week. On our next show, a rooftop farm.
You'll be traveling to New York City, where a farm has been started on the top of a multi-story building. It's said to be the largest rooftop farm in the world. Some operations in the city are also trying hydroponics.
In Southern gardening, big leaf hydrangeas. These plants produce big groups of flowers that can be blue or pink. If you'd like further information on Farm Week Story, you can write us, suggest story ideas to us. Get in touch. Our address, Farm Week Box 9625, Mississippi State, Mississippi 39762. That's Box 9625, Mississippi State, Mississippi 39762. Of course, you can also find us on YouTube or Facebook, and you can get in touch with us through those avenues as well. Our telephone number is 662-325-2262. You can also get in touch with us through your County Extension Service office of the Mississippi State University Extension Service. For the rest of the Farm Week crew, I'm Artis Ford.
And I'm Leighton Spann. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.